Okay, this video 6 or 7. Okay, so release them from the whole Biden crime bill, right? Okay, so now, and personally rectify the situation by going personally and getting my son, right, after the release of all the other prisoners, captives, mass incarcerated, re-enslaved, or let's say while, not after, but while, right? Personally going and picking my son up. So all the mental and emotional strife that he had to endure will be, his mind, body, and soul will be restored, knowing that this nation was fighting for him as he had to endure the persecution of the, the person, as he had to endure the persecution, the spiritual persecution, right? And despite the fact that he's enduring this spiritual persecution, I'm still, mashallah, here to aid in the salvation of Republic America, the restoration, the resurrection of the newly born again Republic of America. Okay? So I expect Donald Trump to go and personally get my son, personally, and deliver him home aboard Trump, whatever that plane is, so my son will know there was people out here fighting for him. There is justice in this world. He is appreciated. And as a man, as a human, and he is very much wanted, respected, honored. So I expect that as part of the reparations to the DMT, richly black, richly melanin, the DMT melanin richly black Hebrew Israelites, right? I expect that in addition to reparations. Delivering him home to his mama. Because I know, mashallah, how I place myself on the line for my beliefs and my fidelity to the truth. And I know PDJT has the best interest of humanity. Okay? In his heart. I do believe that. So I pray to Allah that PDJT is elected. And I pray PDJT personally goes and gets my son. The way he had his brigade go into when he was taken into custody on the 24th of August, right? On the 24th of August, they took PDJT into custody. That's when he got his mugshot. August 24th. And that's August 24th is the transcendent day of the harbinger, the avatar that represents the harbinger, Muhammad's son, firstborn son, was transitioned on August 24th. So that's why they really wanted to get PDJT arrested, his mugshot at that time, on that date, because they knew that date was very relevant. August 24th, I believe it was 2023, when they did that mugshot. I believe that's when they did it. And that was the memorial date of my Mau Mau baby. Some call them Mau Mau baby their grandbaby. I call him my Mau Mau baby because Mau Mau is, for me, is mama upside. The M is upside down, so the Mau Mau and the mama. right? I'm the Mau Mau, and the mama is the mama. The mama gave the birth, and the Mau Mau gets the benefits of enjoying the entertainment of the baby as they grow, right? Okay, so yeah, so it was the anniversary, Memorial Day of my Mau Mau baby, Hamza Salahuddin Mohammed Ahmed, and that's why they did it. They demanded that Fannie Willis uh, arrest Trump, right? She didn't want to. She didn't want it. I think she told them she was very busy, a lot of cases, a lot of things to do, and they demanded her to do it that date. Now, it's not to say she wasn't going to do it, but she tried to tell them she had things she was, it wasn't, in good timing for her, but they said no, it had to be that date. And that's why, because it was representing my mama, baby, right? The connection to Muhammad. Jail, jail. So they were trying to use that energy to capitalize, to utilize it to, compound the negative energy to persecute Trump. So that's why I say, Trump, you got to go get my son, personally. Inshallah, when you're elected, I want to see you go in with your posse like you did all them black trucks and motorcycles and all that. I want my son to know how much he's loved. I want my son to know how much he's appreciated. I want my son to know that, yes, his mother and his global family was fighting for him. And I want him to know when he's, inshallah, when he's released, to know that, he can still be proud of himself. Right? Okay, so that's what I expect. Inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because that's how you're connected. That's why they tried to do that to you. Right? Because they see me as connected to you, supporting you. Right? And I know, alhamdulillah, I have support. I've been very faithful in what I believe to be the truth. And I believe in PDJT to have humanity at his highest interest when it comes to being concerned. He has all of us in mind. Okay, now, so, the eclipse, so the eclipse at the left hand of the moon, south node of, So the eclipse at the left hand, south node of the moon in Libra is on the axis of Isis, right? No, that's not true. Is that true? No, I don't think that's true. When Venus and Mars conjunct in Aquarius, which was the 16th, right? February 16th. And that's 7/11, and that's the time Muhammad was born, 7/11, right? So 7/11, and it was on I forget, I think Antares, not Antares, but it was another fixed asteroid or something like this. But it represents the eagle's eye, and all generals, great generals, they say, have that in their natal chart, or, they have that on their natal chart. So that's what they were trying to get on the 16th, right? When, what's his name, went into East Palestine, right? He was trying to represent the general going into Palestine, right? East Palestine, the Holy Land, and taking the power, right? From my son, right? Because my son is Mars, and Mars and Venus conjunct on that star that represents the eagle's eye in Aquarius. So he goes into Palestine. Remember, stand with Muhammad. He goes into Palestine, East Palestine, under the guise of, he came to address the derailment of Norfolk, whatever that train derailment was, the train derailment that happened in East Palestine, a year, prior to his visit. No, it was a religious, a ritual that he was performing, right? And the news of that time, that day, was this woman named Pammy who killed her baby, right? The baby was found dead, but Pammy, the baby's mammy, was still on the loose. So indirectly, they were talking about not Pammy, but Hammy, because we used to call Hamza Hammy, right? So it's not Mammy, it's not Pammy, it's Hammy, it's Hamza, right? So they were saying the baby was dead, but the mom was still alive. So what were they referencing? Referencing, right? So, Ho Biden, I don't recommend you trying to sacrifice my son for your old ass. Okay? So we got to watch my son. As I said, that's what they tried to do. They tried to say his trial is going to be during Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, right? So to try to stir him, myself, and his family up out of our peace, right? To destabilize us, me, again, attack on my family and myself, right? So that the positive energy, I will be destabilized and won't support PDJT. No, I will support PDJT because PDJT is right. And I believe PDJT is whom Allah wants to be president of this new Republic America, this born again, resurrected Republic America. PDJT has no blood on his hands, has no history of slavery in his family. PDJT is a moral man. Now, another thing too, PDJT, you need to think about this. Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't like Vivek Ramaswamy. That's neither here nor there, because I don't think he has the best interests of my ancestors or my Hebrew Israelites, other than the occupation, those who occupied my ancestors' holy land, right, in mind. But you should think about this. Vivek Ramaswamy would make an excellent secretary. What do they call it? Press secretary. Oh God, it would make a great one and a fun one too. It'd be great to watch. Then maybe he can run for president with Don Jr. as his vice. Vivek could have 8 years of the presidency after Trump. That would give Don Jr. 8 years of vice president. Then Don Jr. in turn could run for president and have 8 years. That way Don Jr. would have 16 years together as vice, 8 as vice and 8 as president. And Vivek could have 8 as president. And that way, during those 16 years, MAGA would have a great chance of growing strong roots, right? Because Don Jr. would support Vivek and keep Vivek in alignment with the MAGA ideology, right? The constitutional ideology, right? And they're both, mashallah, youthful, right? And, be able to, mashallah, lead the new country, the reborn again America, right? But again, reparations need to be paid. And Vivek, you need to think more about the Hebrew Israelites because, right? Just as their support will help make, this new Republic a born-again reality, right? Well, after PDJT, they still gonna be needed. So you might want to give them their just desserts, as well as first and foremost letting my people go, starting with Muhammad and PGJT. I expect you to go pick him up personally with all of your beautiful caravan, right? Okay. All right. Now, okay, so that's just something to think about. Start with press secretary, then president for 8 years with Don Jr. as the VP, and then Don Jr. take over the next 8 years as the president with his whomever he selects as a VP, right? And thus, Don Jr. have 16 years, 8 as vice, 8 as president. So you might want to think about that. Okay, now the opposition may be pissed as hell at that alignment, but who gives a fuck? We're looking out for the best thing for the world, right? And PDJT is the best thing, one of the best things for the world, one of the best things. Okay, so the eclipse at the left-hand south node of the moon in Libra is the axis of Isis. That's not the axis of Isis. The axis of, yeah, that's the axis of Isis. That is the axis of Isis. The moon, the new moon in, no, this full moon is representative of a woman sitting on an egg, right? A woman sitting on an egg. And I once before gave that the depiction of Michael Jackson sitting in the tree on a nest. That person is Michael Jackson giving birth to the Aries, myself, right? As reflective of Aries and Pluto and Aquarius now, because remember we said Michael Jackson was the great dispositor of that house of Virgo and Aquarius, right? Okay, now so that's him giving birth, right? Taking over after the celestial grandfather transitioned in that house, right? Michael Jackson took over, responsible for the new age, right? And the new age of Aquarius, right? The father of the new age of Aquarius, right? Okay. Now, and again, the new moon was on the celestial grandfather's birthday, right? As it relates to numerology, right? As this is represented to the avatar of the harbinger, which was February 24th, which is symbolic of Safa 24, right? Okay, the birthday of the avatar, okay, which is the harbinger of waking the Christ consciousness, right? As reflective of myself, right? The Christ consciousness, right? Okay, okay. So the eclipse at the left hand of the moon, south node, is represented by Libra. The eclipse at the left hand, south node of the moon in Libra is on the axis of Isis. Okay, and that's to occur, as we said, Ramadan 15, which is Ramadan 6, right? Which is Ramadan 6, which is 24, right? So it's symbolic of today as well, right? Okay, and also it's representative of sitting at the egg, right? But it's reflective of this time myself, right? Okay, now and it's going to be at, okay, no, I forgot that, I didn't say that, okay. Okay, so anyway, so then that's going to be Ramadan 6, which represents, it represents Ramadan 15, which is reflective of 9/6 or 69. And it's going to be March 25th, 2024, right, which is representative 325, which is representative December 25th, which is reflective of Christmas, which is reflective of Christ's birthday, which is representative of which Orphat tried to steal, which was reflective of the release of the color purple, right? Where again she tried to steal the crown from Michael Jackson, right? Okay, when she did her little bullshit show, to try to attempt to demean Michael Jackson, right? Okay, And we all know what happened the 25th of December, right? Okay, as we said, December, she tried to, the movie, The Color Purple tried to come out, right? Okay, and that's to reflect the March 20, the Ramadan 1445, which represents 96, which represents 69, which represents March, which is represented by March 25th, 2024, which is represented by 325, which is represented by December 25th, right? Representing, as we said, the celestial birth of the new kingdom, as it relates to being born on the axis of Isis, right? As it relates to the birth of the Christ consciousness, right? As it relates to who? Horus, as it relates to Jerusalem, right? As it relates to the son of Ra, right? And Ra, the son of the sun, representative of the son, God. But we don't believe in God as a son and God as a father. We believe Adam as the father and the kingdom of Judah as the children, right? As represented by the sun, right? As represented by the lion, as represented by the fierceness of the lion, as represented by the sun, as represented by Al-Gibulan, as represented by Africa. Okay. Okay. More so Africa, Al-Gibulan than Africa, because Africa means hot and scary, right? Okay. And there's nothing hot and scary about the Holy Land. Okay. Unless you're just scared of spirituality. Okay, so now we said, okay, so the axis of Isis is where the Libra eclipse is going to be, Ramadan 15, March 25th, which is coming up shortly, right? Okay, and so that's going to be like what? That's going to be like Isis, right? That's going to be like, as we said, Jerusalem, right? Pisces, right? The Christ consciousness, right? As represented by the 25th of December, right? And that's represented of the birth of the cosmically integrated, Holy Spirit filled Revelation 12, right? Global MJ or MJLA or LAMJ Royal Purple Rainbow Kingdom 52 of Jerusalem, right? And that is Jerusalem, Horus, right? Okay, now, and its new king, head of the celestial Ramadan cardinal house of Israel, right? Or Osiris, right? And Osiris, if you do the spelling correctly, you'll see Osiris is Israel, represents Isis, Ra, okay, and El representing Saturn, the body, right? The manifestation of a complete atom, right? Israel represents a complete atom, right? That's why the star is the six star angled star is represented by Israel, right? Because it represents the male, right? The 5-star represents the female. The 6-star represents the male, right? Because it has the middle angle and the lower angle, right? And the higher angle represents the head, the lower angle represents the phallic, and the two angles on the side of the middle represent the legs, and the two angles on the side of the top represents the arms. So it represents the complete body of the man, right? The star, which is represented by the snowflake, right? Okay. The higher, right? And the starfish is represented by the female, right? Okay. Okay. So now, we have Revelation 12. So the axis of Isis, which is represented by the Libra, the Libra, the eclipse in Libra, represented by who? Venus, represented by Aphrodite, right? Represented by who else is it? Yeah, Venus and Aphrodite, right? Represented by, where's Venus? In Aquarius, right? Okay, and Aphrodite is represented by Aquarius. Aphrodite, wait. Venus in Aquarius represents Aphrodite because Aquarius represents the phallic of the sun. So Venus representing the cutting off of the, we're going to go to video 7 and 8.